Hi, everyone. Phil and Patti, Bowen. Just want to bring you some words of encouragement today. Um, I think one of the things that's obvious to everyone during this particular time is that we should be praying. Really important to pray, especially during times of crisis. That was something that I really focused on this past week and tried to do, but if I'm being honest, I probably didn't end up praying a whole lot. I devoted the time to it, but as I started to pray and attempted to pray, I found that it was just very difficult. So I started searching my heart and try to find out why. I think one thing was that I was really distracted. There's so many thoughts rolling around in my head, and I just could not focus. But then as I looked deeper, I think there was something else I found, and that was this sense of denial. Like I just, didn't want to pray really because I didn't want to embrace the reality, the new reality that we're facing here. I just thought, it shouldn't be this way. Why am I in this place? Why am I having to go to God about this stuff? I just don't want to do it. And I realized that, there's a kind of grieving process that we're all going through right now, and that first stage of denial is very real for us. So there was a time of alignment or realignment that I had to go through, or that I'm actually going through right now. I recalled the Lord's Prayer that he gave his disciples to pray, where he says, "Thy will be done." And so I thought through it, and I said, Lord, when it comes down to it, this is not about me. This life, this world, it's your world. You created it. You created me. I'm your child, and you have a design for my life and what you want from me. And there's times where, we need readjusting or realigning to that particular truth. I don't think we realize it sometimes just how selfish we are, or self-focused, how we've shaped our lives around our own agendas. And so God from time to time comes along and he shakes us up and causes us to reconsider what this whole thing is about. So I think realignment is so important. God has us where he has us for a reason. And I think praying with that in view is very important, asking God to realign you and help you to pursue his will in all things. So that's kind of a foundational prayer that I've said, or that I'm saying right now, to try to get my head around actually praying.
And my reaction to all this that's going on has been fear, has been worry. I've worried about my family members. I've worried about my grandkids. I've worried about my dad, who's down in North Carolina. He's 85 years old. I've worried about not having enough toilet paper or enough food. There's just a lot of things that we can worry about in the midst of all this virus that's going on. So at moments I stop and I say, wait a minute, I need to give this to God. He is the one that's in control. He's the one that can calm my fears, calm my nerves. I just need to understand that he's totally in control. He provides. He will take care of us. And with that, I get his peace. And having his peace is so important to us. Being able to help others, being able to step into this whole crisis and being able to just move forward. So I just want to encourage you to pray for his peace, and that passes all understanding, and allow him to guard your heart and mind and to take away all your anxiety.
Yeah, and so a final area of prayer that I think is important to consider is in regards to mercy. There's plenty of examples in Scripture where God's people are experiencing, a calamity, or some sort of plague or a drought. Something's going on, and then God's people pray and they ask God for mercy, that He would help them out in their time of hardship and difficulty. And so they humble themselves and call out to Him, and God responds and He delivers His people. I think of James's reference to Elijah. You know, Elijah was the prophet who prayed for Israel during the time of Ahab's kingship, and he asked God to send rain on the earth, and God did after several years of drought. And so James encourages the readers in his day and age to take that as encouragement, because Elijah was just an average guy, just like us, but yet he prayed, and he prayed fervently, and his prayer was effective. And James encourages us to do the same thing. So I encourage you to pray and to ask God for mercy, that He would intervene and stop this plague, if you will, this disease that's descended upon us and that's costing so many lives. And that's not a prayer for the status quo. That's not asking God to, just get us back to a place of prosperity so we can get on with our lives and do whatever we want to do. No, it's a prayer that God would help and spare lives and save lives. The way that we came to salvation was through God's kindness and His mercy. And that's the way others come to a place of salvation. So pray that God would spare lives, that God would spare suffering and pain and misery, that God would spare people from economic collapse and failure. There's a number of ways you could pray for God to intervene. I think it's so important to pray that way. So we just wanted to encourage you that you be about the business of prayer and just kind of share, where we're at with it and what's going on in our hearts. And may God give you the grace to indeed, over these next few days and weeks and who knows how long, to truly seek Him with all your heart. And I believe as we do, we'll see Him do great things. Well, God bless you, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.